Hello and welcome everyone to the Imbolc Ceremony 2021. I'm Kathy Forrest and I'm so excited to be here. We made it. We're all still here. We're all still on the planet. We made it through 2021. And this is really today, there's so many things, but today is a new beginning. And in earth traditions, in a lot of our ancestors that have been, those of us that have been around the block a few times know that this is like the beginning. It's the seed day. It's when we plant the seeds. So this is a big ceremony. It's a big deal. We're going to talk about that. So I'm really, really happy that all of you are popping on. I'm even happier that I figured out how to do this so that I don't have to let y'all in. Y'all can just keep popping in. Okay, so let's get going here. We're gonna call in sacred space. So if you want to stand with me, you're welcome to stand. If not, you can just sit and relax and enjoy. Let's all take a big deep breath in together. And then as we exhale, I want you to drop your roots down into the earth, feel them go all the way down and out and connect with all the growing things around you. And then breathe that earth energy up through your body. Exhale it out through the top of the head. Connect with the heart of the Great Mother above us, that beautiful black hole that birthed us right above us right now. Connect with her and then breathe that in and down, send it all the way down into the earth and feel that flow of life force above and below, running through your body. Moving to the north, we welcome Mother Earth. We welcome solid structure and form, the ability to stand on our own 2 feet. Moving to the south, we welcome water and flow and clear, clean, current, emotional energy. Moving to the west, we welcome air, focus, clarity, all of our guides, all of our etheric allies. We call that energy in through the west. Moving to the east, we welcome fire, movement, action, momentum, divine right action into our circle. Moving to the center, we welcome the divine feminine and the divine masculine in sacred right relationship. We call that beautiful creative energy down through our bodies, and we call up Mama Gaia to pull and magnetize that energy through us. And we welcome our own sweet higher self, our own sweet extraordinary soul into this circle. We ask that all these energies be with us, pray with us, dance with us today for a mutual benefit. All right, we are going to dance and hang on, let me get us some music going. Everybody can get up. If you don't want us to watch you, all you have to do is find that little tab with video on it and just cross it out. And it will take your video down. Okay, here we go. Everybody. Sweet, huh? That was so sweet. Felt so good. Looks like we got some more people in the chat. Cool. Yes, Tanya, yes, you're right. So Tanya says, she's in the chat, she says, I feel like this is actually the start of the year. January was so much about 2020. I didn't feel, I'm going to tell you why. And you are so accurate. She says, I didn't feel any forward motion. So yeah, that's why I'm acting a little giddy today, because really, yes, we are at completion point and we are at plant the new seeds point. So yay. I'm gonna make sure we're all muted here. Okay. All right. So I want everybody to just feel into your body for a minute. We just finished, really finished at the end of January, and right at that full moon, actually, we finished 2020. And, you know, and then really all through the month of January, to me, it felt like, oh my goodness, just like a whirlwind. There's a reason for that. And so I'm just going to give you the play-by-play from where we were to where we've been. We're not going to go over all the details today of cosmically what's going on, but there's a few things that we're going to touch on. Really, this is a ceremony about beginnings. And I just want to thank all of you for taking the time to just stop and really connect in with what's happening right now, because it's big. So let's just start way back there. We spent 2020 with the influence of Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto, mostly in Capricorn. And what that meant to us, you know, there were a lot of things that were happening in the physical world. But what that was for was to break down all the old structures, the dismantling. And even though a lot of us knew that was coming and knew what it was here for, I mean, yeah, it kind of helps to know, but how? I mean, that was a journey. And however it affected you, whether you were touched by the pandemic or not, you were touched by it. But whether it touched you in close with loved ones or not, all of our lives feel like it was a renewal. it's like a tearing down of everything. And some of us probably, I know myself included, still feel a little quivery inside from all of that. Like, kind of like we were drugged behind something in a field of gravel. I mean, that's what my body feels like a little bit. And so then we jump from that at the beginning of January to nearly all the planets going into Aquarius. And Aquarius is like radical, revolutionary shift energy. And so not only is it, okay, clear the decks, change channels, here we go, but it felt like we were in the bottom of a little tornado. And here's why. That was the end. January was the last month of the Mayan calendar, this particular cycle. So it ended a cycle literally on the full moon in Leo 3 days ago. So we're at a completion, and everyone I've talked to, and in my own life, when I get healings done, it's like, oh, I'm at a crossroads, or I'm at this place where I can't really see over the horizon or around the curve, but it's there. I know it's there, and here I am. And then we ice that cake, because it's like now we're, it feels like we're poised to go somewhere, and Mercury goes retrograde on January 30th. It did, which was 2 days ago. So we've got that downtime feeling, because when Mercury's retrograde, it's all about going within, processing everything that's happened. And we're in that sequence now. At the beginning of the Mayan calendar, you only get this the first 13 days, but the vibrations are 1-1. So the sun is at its first point, the moon is at its first point, and so it goes 1-1, 2-2, all the way through for 13 days. And then we land on day 14, which is the ocelot. And many of you have heard me and Kaylin talk about the energy of that. So it's like we are poised and ready for something. And what I want to do is help us move into ceremony and lay the groundwork for whatever it is you're moving into during the coming year. That's what Imbolc is all about. So it feels like we've all gone through this amazing metamorphosis, even though it feels like after birth. I mean, it feels like, oh, okay. And we are at a crossroads. And so I want to give you what I do want to give you a little bit of before we jump into the rest is that, and I meant to put a slide up for this and I didn't. I follow the Mayan calendar just like all of the other things I follow. And I use the book, the 2013 Oracle by Dave Carson and Nina Sammons, and have used it for years. And so today is 3-3. And I'm not going to read all of it because it's pretty long, but I do want to give you a taste of where we are today. So the first one, so the sun sign is called Sacred Precinct, Divine Center. So that's where we are. We're at the lens. Sacred Precinct is a holy place that acts as a lens to enlarge our understanding of the sacred. Sacred Precinct is connected with all sacred rituals and is a sacred spiritual manifestation of great magnitude. Sacred precinct teaches that the earth is a sphere, and no matter where we are at the center. So I'm going to go on back here to see what this instructs us to do. If you're drawn to the sacred precinct space, you're being asked to remember the circle of self, your own personal life, your own meaning in it. Sacred precinct asks you to look at those closest to you with new awareness. Bring sacredness into your personal sphere of influence. Walk under the canopy of creation in health and happiness. Bring the unity of the elements and let sunshine, starlight, and moon glow bathe you in an increase of inner harmony. Your inner work will reflect back to your present environment. No matter where you are, Sacred Precinct graciously says, make yourself at home. So that's the sun sign. That's the intent. Here's the vibration that we're swimming in. Corn Mother, blessings and nourishment. So corn is a lesson in multiplication. Corn Mother is the perfect expression of love and wisdom. She bestows her blessings to others with love, and she asks you to do the same. Give freely of your goodwill and blessings. To bless is to recognize the living divine spirit. Bless others, bless their life, work, and path. Be optimistic, be cooperative, be like the yellow butterflies skipping over the green corn. Rest easy. What you seek is materializing. So what a good and juicy day for us to be gathering in ceremony. And I want us to make it like that for ourselves. So Imbolc is currently celebrated starting around sundown on February 1st. And I always like to do my things early so people can get the recording and they don't feel like they've missed the window. So it would traditionally be tonight and then all tomorrow. And it marks the halfway point between December solstice and the March equinox. So it's like on many Earth calendars, it was considered the first day of spring, and March is the middle. And then the first day of summer is May 1st, and June is midsummer. So we're really right at the beginning. Yet another reason for us, for the reason that we feel like that is because we are. So Kaylin sent this out in her newsletter this time, and it was just exquisite. It perfectly describes what's happening right now. We are all standing on the edge of the old reality, moving toward the light of something new, more expansive, more inspiring, and even perhaps something that might not have seemed possible before now. Okay, so just let that go in. As we begin February with Mercury retrograde, catching up to the sun in Aquarius, along with Saturn and Jupiter also in Aquarius, and Venus entering Aquarius today, suggesting not only are revolutionary ideas and ideals available to us, but perhaps this is leading us to a new understanding of what is. So this is really, I mean, we do ceremony all the time, and the beauty of being on a round planet is that there's always a do-over. There's always tomorrow. There's always another year. But this one is really pivotal. It just feels like, okay, We are really in transformation now, which means that we can really lay down what we want for the next seven generations. It's really time to lay that down. And it's not something you do lightly, and it's not something you're going to do in the next hour. But we have this beautiful Mercury retrograde window, and I know everybody gets frustrated with this time, but it's because we're not using it right. It's like we're trying to keep going when we need to stop. And that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to get us to stop and reflect and look at where we've been and look at where we're going and see, what do we really, really want to plant in this new seedbed of creation? What do we really want to grow? I mean, if you look at what's right now, the seed catalogs are coming out and everybody's deciding what they're going to plant this year. Hopefully, you're deciding that. You should be. So that's what today's about. Today is like the opening day of really this 3-week window where we can get quiet, where we can go within, and where we can let our guidance really, really speak to us. So we're going to initiate that process today. And most of this is going to be journal time. So if you don't have a journal out, get one. Preferably the one you're using for this year. And get yourself situated, because I have a treat for you. And this just dropped in this morning. So I've been frantically getting these slides ready. I just finished. I mean, it's like I have one deck. I'm getting ready to order the new round, the final copy. But I made a priestess deck. And I've been using a lot of others in the priestess classes, and they all have wonderful things to contribute, but none of them have all the things that I wanted in there. So I made one with all the things, and we're going to use it. You all are the maiden voyage. I did a card pull for all of us. And I was so, very conscious of like, it's got to be for this group. And so I get tickled when I see the cards that came up. It's all really just perfect and in alignment with where we are. So I'm not going to play background music. I like to do that, but I want to be able to put this up on YouTube. So they won't let us use music that's not free. So we're just going to be silent, but I'm going to give you some time in several different doorways. So this particular deck, hang on here, I want to see, there's been a lot of people talking in the chat and I haven't been paying attention. Blank slate, yeah. So Valerie, no, you haven't missed anything. She says, I don't feel like I've done a lot of inner work during the past year. I'm wondering if I've missed a huge opportunity. No, it's like we're in it. We're in it right now. And inner work, you would be amazed at how much inner work you've done that you don't know that you've done. So you couldn't have been on this planet and not have transformed this year, I promise you. So everybody get your journals and we're going to just start. And the way this deck is set up is there are 7 cards that deal with the process of alchemy. And so I separated them all out and I pulled an alchemy card. And so the idea is, what step are we in now? And I think all of you will agree when you see this, that we are literally in fermentation. So that what happens to the little seed, it feels like we should take all of what we've got right now and plant it in the ground. And then that when we go into the ground, we begin to break apart and ferment. And so it says, here we undergo a type of rebirth resulting from the deep willingness to let go of all elements of ourselves that no longer serve our spirit, physical and spiritual evolution. This marks the true beginning of inner initiation, of the entry into a higher life in which our destiny has a chance to unfold. Sometimes this can be described as the dark night of the soul. And for some people, that can sound a little scary, but when you've been around the block a few times doing priestess, if you lean into this, it is the richest, most extraordinary time, full of downloads and information and guidance. So if you're plugged in, this moment is pivotal. It's like the turning point, and it isn't scary at all. So the question you want to ask yourself right here at the beginning of this reading is, have I been receiving any guidance? How can I follow through on that guidance? And what am I learning? So I'm just going to give you a minute or two to journal with that. I think as we go through the reading itself, you'll be able to come back to this question and have more insight. But just for right now, ask yourself some of those questions and see what your guidance brings you. I'm going to see if I can get us some music going really softly. Okay, yeah, I'll repeat the questions. They are, if you have the slides pulled up, they are on the slide, but I will repeat them for you. What guidance have you been receiving? How can you follow through on that guidance? And what have you been learning? Okay, I'm going to go with my original plan. And we'll just be quiet. Okay, I'm going to move us forward. I'm trying to see where you all are, but is so much more. I want to make sure that you get all of the reading, and then I will send out the slides as well as the recording, because I'm really going to encourage you to stay in this space for as long as you can. Weeks, the full 3 weeks, give yourself time and space every day to really drop in and get your guidance. That's what we're supposed to use this time for right now. All right. So I pulled 2 cards in the Earth door. And what we'll do after we pull an alchemy card, then you can go in and get guidance from all of the elements. And since it's alchemy, we start in the north with Earth. And these are the 2 cards I pulled for this group. Holding the container and practical wisdom. So one of the gifts of the Earth realm is structure. She creates structures or containers to hold, contain, and direct the more fluid energies like water, fire, and even air. Earth creates the support we need to get our creations into form by holding the container for them. Sometimes we too need to hold the container for our creations by creating the environment in which our hopes and dreams can flourish. Tracking the seasons and cycles of our life, whether it's the seasons of nature or the days of our moon cycle, is one way we can hold the container for our lives. Likewise, tracking our income is a way we can hold the container for our wealth to grow. Focusing on a vision of what we're creating through vision boarding and journaling is another way. So the question for you right now is, where do you need to hold the container for what you're creating? How does Earth want to help you do that? And then the other one was practical wisdom. Practical wisdom is one of the golden nuggets of the Earth Mother's gifts. Sometimes it can feel elusive simply because it's so practical. The solution is literally hiding, usually in plain sight. If you're struggling with a problem, and I don't expect you to do this right this minute, but maybe today sometime, go outside and sit on the ground, maybe next to a tree, and get quiet. And imagine your roots going all the way down into the earth, and ask her for her practical wisdom. And then relax and wait. The answer is as close as your breath. So journal with those 2 for just a little bit and see what the Earth Mother wants to say to you at the beginning of the planting season. All right, we're going to move to the next one, which is water. So we're going to move to the south. Sweet, Valerie. Okay, we're going to move to the south door, which is water on the alchemy wheel. And the card I pulled for us today is birthing. So once again, that's exactly what we're doing. It's exactly where we are. Birthing speaks to giving life to something new, as in bringing forth something from within yourself. It's not just creating form outside yourself, but literally drawing forth that form from within yourself. All of us have things inside of us that need to be birthed. There are certain parts of ourselves that need to be brought forth into the world of physical form. Water provides the flow that supports birthing. This is why we came to a physical planet. Allow water to show you what is wanting to be birthed from within you right now. Woo-hoo. So juicy. Okay, journal with water for a little bit.
Find a couple things back there. So.
Yeah, some of the stuff was marked down and is on the 50% off shelf.
This thing keeps waving at everybody. All right. Okay, it looks like many of you are ready to move to the next spot. So we'll keep going. So air, in the air realm, I pulled higher thought. The air realm actually influences and forms all the other elements. Internally, we do that with our thoughts. Our thoughts actually dictate all of our outcomes. The more we dwell in the realm of high vibrational thought, the better our outcomes and the more quickly we are able to manifest. Dwelling here can be as simple as intending to do so and then monitoring your thoughts. And when you find yourself dipping into the realm of negative thoughts about yourself and others, you can quickly turn that around by deliberately moving your thoughts to things that bring you joy and spark gratitude in your life. These are two of the highest vibrational emotions and can bring you back up to the higher realms very quickly. So, where do you need to reach for higher thoughts? And especially around what you want to plant. Really let that dive deep into that one. This year has been real easy for us to dip, if you know what I mean. Okay, we're going to move over to the fire door in the east. And the card I pulled for us in the fire door is movement. This is like, it's the epitome of what fire is about. The essence of fire is movement. It's superpower. Fire's superpower is action. The movement is what makes the creation machine work. Movement is what creates energy. So especially our female bodies are energy generators. And movement is what causes that energy to generate. Without movement, everything on this planet runs the risk of slipping into entropy and decay. Movement keeps things going. It builds momentum. So I know that I'm encouraging you to be still, plant the seeds, but even when you plant seeds, you have to go out and do the planting. And I know many of us have been in quarantine and we've gotten lethargic and we're just like, ugh. So where do you need to apply the law of movement in your life? What needs to move? Okay, in the center of our wheel is spirit. And the card I pulled for us today is self-sovereignty. Sovereignty is defined as supremacy of authority or rule exercised by a sovereign or state, complete independence and self-government. To be self-sovereign is to be in complete authority over one's own behaviors, actions, and outcomes. From this position, we no longer depend on others to define us, inform us, or assist us. It does not mean we don't accept or even ask for help, but it does mean that receiving that help from someone else in no way gives them the right to inform our decisions. This is full governance of the self. It implies complete autonomy. It ensures that we have the freedom to act as we see fit. Are there places in your world where you feel you need to behave a certain way in order to appease others? Let that land. Do you feel dependent and needy? Where do you need to increase your self-sovereignty? So that is the end of the elemental portion. There are 9 prosperity cards in this deck as well. And the one I pulled for us is prosperity mindset. So when you read through the section on prosperity, it will shift your mindset. It will take you to places you may not have visited in a while, but ponder for a minute exactly what is prosperity mindset and how do you get one? I believe it's knowing that we live in an abundant universe and we've been given the most powerful gift, choice. We can choose to look at our abundance, to manage it well, and to know with every fiber of our being that the universe, God, Goddess, the spirit that moves in all things, whatever you want to call consciousness, wants us to succeed and is doing everything it can to support our success. When we choose to remind ourselves of this daily, and when we choose to raise our vibration and make high-level decisions with our money, when we choose to love our life and those around us and share our wealth, we prosper. This is how we were made to live on this planet. Where do you need to up your game and increase your prosperity mindset? Okay. So I want everybody to just take a minute, whether you're done journaling or not, just take a minute, and I want you to feel where you are right now. We have gotten a ton of guidance this morning, and we've probably written things in our journal. Maybe we've gone places we haven't thought about. Right? I think Tanya says she's so excited, so much of it is perfectly on target for her. I think it's on target for all of us. I think it's on target for the day. So I want to remind you, number one, that we're a day early. We're ahead of the game. And really and truly, from the astrological point of view, Imbolc itself doesn't start till tomorrow evening. And then the day, rather than February 2nd, is really February 3rd. So I would encourage all of you to take the next 3 days at least and be in ceremony with yourself, with the questions, with the card, with all of it. And really use this time appropriately. We've set the stage for a perfect beginning of what we want to plant in 2021 and beyond. So stay here, and we're going to dance, we're going to activate everything, but it doesn't have to mean the ceremony's over. Anytime, just create the window of ceremony for yourself so that you can really give the beginning of whatever we're beginning the time and energy it deserves. So we're going to dance. And I do want to tell you that, like I said, this dropped in this morning at 5:30. So I threw up the slides, and then I threw up a page on the website. I'm getting ready to place an order and order a big, huge order of decks. The book is at the printer and is being printed. It may take a little bit, but I have an ebook. So if you want to get your hands on these now and want to let me know you want one, so I know how many to order, you can go to Celestial Forest Alchemy Profitable Priestess cards, and it's the drop down on the money section. And just order one. And I'll send you the decks as soon as they come in, and I'll email you the ebook. And as soon as the hard copy books come in, I'll ship that out. So just know that that's available and it's coming. And if you want one now in the first round, in the first order, let me know. Okay, and hang on, we got some chats going on up here. Okay, right, so everybody's saying me, yes. Go on the website and order one, and I'll make sure I know how many to get. All right, we're gonna get up and move. Here we go. We're gonna activate, so as we dance, I want you to activate all those seeds you began to plant this morning. So everybody get up. I'm gonna turn up the music louder. All right, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming, for showing up, for taking the time to be in ceremony today. I give thanks to the elemental forces for holding space for us today. I give thanks to the Divine Mother for all she gives us all the time. And I give thanks for all of these beautiful souls that are doing their sacred work. And I close this circle in the light. Happy beginning, everyone. No, it's not going to let me till I stop the share.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, Sachi